Hi, this is Marta with Universal Power Tarot, and these messages we bring you today are supposed to encourage, elevate, and empower you guys. Hi, my friends! Yay, I'm so happy to be back. This is the first reading after my break, and yeah, I really enjoyed it, but there was also some, a lot of changes within myself, and I actually wanted to do this reading before my break, and I'm really happy that I didn't, because now it actually has a chance to come out with a totally different spin. So excuse me, this is for all my warriors out there who are on a daily basis or on a continuous basis, just standing up for what they believe in, for what is true to their heart and soul. And this is a reading specifically for you. And actually, what came through before I started was the following: Dear warrior, this is for you. May you fight fiercely, compassionate for what is dear to your heart and soul. May you pick your fights wisely, and may you also, when the fight is done, find back to your inner peace and serenity. I love you. Yes. And thing is, after I've all the fighting, like internally, that I went through over the course of these past 2 weeks, like intensely, but also, of course, before that already, coming back this morning in meditation, the peace that I felt was so strong and so like all encompassing. It almost felt like I was like my body was dissolving and I was becoming one with the surrounding once more. And that felt really incredible, especially with a strong contrast of before, just like internal fighting, external fighting. It's just like, you know what I mean? So yeah, and all the more that's why this reading needs to be brought to you guys today, and I'm so excited to bring it to you. The first card, of course, I shuffled all of your cards already, and the first card that came out is influence. Excuse me. So with influence, what immediately struck my eye was the dove here, of course, with the heart, because that is really the peace that this brings, that this holds as you look inside yourself, really, right? But we have a lot of colors there too, and the radiance, the knowing that there's more, that there wants to grow something else within you that wants to really, really come up. And if you would like, you can watch the video when I came back, the ones that says I got it, because that one, there's a lot of explanation in it. So there may be also something in there for you where you identify in that kind of a direction. Okay, we also have breakthrough, we have belief, we have forgiveness, and positive change here from the guardian angel cards. So the meaning of influence: only through the eyes of the soul can the true nature of your life, existence, and purpose be known. All of life flows from the one divine heart of creation. You have a purpose, a meaning, and a role to play in this great journey of life. It may be beyond the knowing of the physical world, but it is not beyond the knowing of your soul. Imagine boarding a sea vessel and setting off for a grand adventure into the great unknown. You have a fantastic crew, plenty of supplies, and you are looking forward to encountering countless new sights and sounds. You may return home with tantalizing tales. Perhaps you will find a pristine paradise to call home. There is a great world of possibilities awaiting you, and you are ready to embrace whatever comes your way. But how different would this journey be if you thought the world was flat? If every night you went to sleep worrying you might slip over the edge, never to return, how would that change your outlook? What would you do differently? Would you dare leave sight of familiar shores? Believing the earth was flat wouldn't make it so, but it would create false limitations and influence everything about your journey. Likewise, believing you are unworthy, unlovable, and incapable doesn't make it so. Be conscious of the thoughts, opinions, and values that are influencing your journey. That is wise advice. Again, I want to refer to the I Got It video, because I feel like there's information in there for you as well. Also, I brought in the rose petals today, so we have a lot of feminine energy because there's like fresh flowers and the rose petals. So I specifically felt drawn to the rose petals. This some of you, either you're collecting them, or you're making like rose oil off of them, or putting them in your bath. Something about rose petals that are important to you and your journey. Okay, if you haven't done anything in this area, you may want to check that out, because that's also important. You know, the warrior archetype always needs that balance too, right? That female nurturing. And I'm not saying warrior is exclusively masculine. They can be both, right? It's a play in reality. But when we're talking about the warrior archetype, there's the positive expression and the negative expression of them. And yeah, the negative or unevolved version of the warrior, or distorted, is really like a rampant one that is unfair or unjust, or really not in control of their emotions and just acting impulsively, for example. And the healthy expression is one that actually really helps us ensure our boundaries, for example, or helps us fight for a cause that is very dear to our hearts, and that we really, for a change that we would like to see in the world or within ourselves. And a healthy warrior can really help us here to fight fiercely compassionate, right? Okay, so the first one is believe. And these are timeless readings, by the way. Be open to all possibilities and opportunities. Let go of preconceived ideas. There's nothing to fear. You are constantly surrounded by love. Start to believe in yourself and trust your instincts. Wondrous possibilities and opportunities abound, provided you are flexible and retain an open heart and mind. Believe all is possible. Yes. And I can feel it. And it so ties into the message of the boat that we just received from the influence card, just going on your journey, not really knowing where this is taking us. And again, I'm feeling so much like internally, but also very much externally, like what is happening right now in the world. This is like, we don't know where we're going, and we need those warriors like fighting for what they believe in. It's really, really important. Oh, we're starting off differently. Haha, so we're starting with the Wildwood Tarot, and there is going to be an extended, yes, I love this, oh yeah, there is going to be an extended, and please watch the other video to be informed about all the changes. The one that I got it, one that I already said, I'm going to attach a link. Also, because I'm going to offer the extended donation based from now on. And for all my Patreons, please watch the video as well at 13 minutes. I didn't do it like intentionally on the at the new months, at the turn of the new months. It just came in, but I'll explain it in the videos. And if you have questions, just get back to me, all right? And we'll sort things out. If it needs sorting. So 4 of Bows, celebration. I love that. Look at that, like people coming together. That's the 4 of Wands. Actually, that's happy home, that's stability. And that, if that isn't something to fight for, then I don't know what is. And they don't look like they need to fight. They do have their bows in hand, right? Should they need to, but really this is like a healthy expression. It's totally passionate, and dancing with like-minded people around a fire here. It's very free-spirited, and it's just like I'm really reminded of Woodstock or the 70s. It's just that kind of a spirit that this card is really oozing for me right now. It's just like, yes, let's go for this. I want this. I'm choosing this. I love it. And this is something, the Ace of Stones, the foundation of life. This has become a card for me that really speaks about past life experience already. So this is letting me know that we have a lot of old souls here watching this reading. You've done this over and over and over again. And it's a matter of tapping into your abilities here once more. To some of you, this really means you're starting to unlock more of your potential, more of your higher light is coming through and is looking to be integrated. And this is also a quest, of course, where we really need that warrior archetype, because these quests can become dark, right? When we're going deep, transforming and unearthing those deep emotions and bringing them up, we need the warrior sometimes to really make it through, because these can be tough journeys. And you may have been on the verge of giving up almost, some of you here, but the warrior It's just like, this is the force inside you that is saving you, really, that is like, hey, come on, let's do it again, let's try it once more, let's do it again. We'll do it this time, we'll make it happen this time. Yeah, and they're now drawing my eye to the breakthrough card, and it reads, how many beautiful heartfelt wishes have been crushed by fear? How many times has society's voice of disapproval cast a shadow on your dreams? It is time to break free of these false beliefs and realize your dreams. Allow your heart to guide you. Trust your inner guidance. The time is right. Heart and solar plexus, guys. Heart and solar plexus. And this is really like, if you have a picture or a sentence in your mind, or if you have an actual picture, some of you may even have an actual picture that really says this to you, that speaks 70s and Woodstock and coming together, love and light and all that, right? Like as a community, really getting along, like keep that close to you, have it somewhere where you can see it, or write down a sentence that speaks to you in such a way, whatever it is to you, like your intentions, and make that light up and bring it out into the world. And touching it apparently every day when you've written it down, it really helps. So carrying that around with you, I just saw 1111, really helps to bring it into existence. And the more of us are doing this, guys, the more it comes in. We're being magnets, especially when you are like up there in meditation in really high vibrations. We are becoming magnets to what we want. And I've said it in the fellow seekers group, this is important. This is really important, because we intend and create. We are the ones that are bringing it down to the earth. And if you focus on the other stuff, which is also good, there's also a time and space for that, because we shouldn't be blind to that, right? But then there's also the other time where we're just like flying really high and tapping into that highest timeline and in the highest good for everyone involved, which is ultimately, of course, your highest timeline as well, right? So, okay. And there's a thing to let you know that you can't go wrong. And if you've been too hard on yourself, to really take a step back and to really take a break here too. That's what this card is telling me too here. To really take a break, to not be so hard on yourself. Like you've done enough just by coming here, okay? You've done enough just by coming here. And there's lots of others around, like you're not alone. And sometimes I know that on the spiritual journey, it can get really lonely, because especially when you're being cleared of everything, people may fall away, jobs may fall away, like everything. It may feel like your old life is crumbling. And there is a period of time where you're being just left on to your own devices, or I mean, everybody's spiritual journey is different, but that's what I definitely know of. And then there is a time, though, when your soul tribe is coming back in, right? And it's time for celebration. And that time by yourself is really important, though, to figure out, what do I want? Where do I stand? And these things may be reoccurring, right? Because we're always like one step further, like in that spiral. So you may feel like it's reoccurring. Something is coming back around. All right. Oh, no, thank you. Woohoo! 9 of Stones tradition. So the snake is tremendous healing, right? And the antlers, that is denoting to that leadership position, like being that shining light, bringing it down to earth, that light, and meditating. And Nine of Stones is also a card of independence and sovereignty, like being really good on your own, and which is just what I said, right? You need to learn to be good on your own, and to trust yourself, to really trust your own values here, and be guided by your heart, right? Because too often, like, the society is really mind-based, and there's, again, the masculine component is really strongly, like, it's too strong. The feminine, to me, that's the heart, and there needs to be balance, because both are important. But to be guided by your heart, I feel, is really the key here. And you'll see how many more people are vibrating with your core truths and your core values here as soon as you tap into your heart. There's a lot more to come. There's a lot more. This is also a very abundant card, the 9 of Stones, which is the 9 of Pentacles in the traditional tarot. A very abundant card, and that doesn't necessarily, to me, anymore mean monetary, although it can mean that. But excuse me, like being so tapped in and turned on is what, you know, Abraham, the channelings through Esther Hicks is tapped in, turned on, tapped in, turned on, that you feel so abundant in any moment. And that's what I'm getting with this card too, to be in that space and to be that peace and that love that radiates out. So this is what the little writing I did in the beginning did as well, you know, to really know when to fight, know when to stand up, and know when to like retreat, and when to retreat to yourself and take a breather, take a break. Oh yeah, ancestors, yes. Number 5, the ancestor. Yeah, and we have a strong force here that is coming in for you, that is helping you on your path here. There's a strong recommendation for you to really tap in to ancestral wisdom, because you also came here. You may be the warrior in your ancestral lineage, right? The one that came here to disrupt the whole thing and be just like, no, we're not doing that like that anymore. And that can be such a tough job to do. Jesus, and crossed over ancestor is here for you, to help you, and they're asking you to really get in touch. And some of you may already know who that is, or feel that presence in your home. If you're having activity in your home, and if that really speaks to you, know that that's them. Okay, you can always ask love and light and that thing, but I'm strongly getting that for some of you. There is activity, like strangeness going on. That is them. They're just like, hey, I'm here, I'm here. So it would be a good idea maybe to build an altar, like an ancestor altar, and light some candles, and really thank them for walking the path that they have walked before you, right? And with that immediately comes up forgiveness, and this can be so tough to do sometimes, especially when you've been sent here, or you agreed upon like clearing ancestral trauma, or clearing that family line, which is ultimately helping everybody, not just your family line, but the whole world, basically humanity, because you're clearing the karma or the old energies. You're clearing those, and the benefits may not necessarily be apparent straight away. And that's kind of a tough thing, but remember that. And with that comes in forgiveness. And the card reads, holding on to a past hurt is preventing you from moving forward and achieving your heart's desires. Let it go. Forgiveness does not mean that you condone another's actions. It simply means that you are no longer willing to be a perpetual victim to a particular person or event. Blame is a waste of your precious energy. Bless and surrender the past, for in doing so, you will reclaim your joy of life. My take on forgiveness, especially lately, is that you cannot force that. And forgiveness is purely for yourself. And when you really feel it, it'll dissolve, like for the other person as well. But it's for you first and foremost. And I wouldn't force it. I wouldn't, if you don't feel forgiving in that moment, please don't like push yourself. There may be emotions before that need to be resolved. So maybe a deep dive is in order here for some of you, you know, to really, what we described earlier, really, to really dive deep and figure out what it is that is still holding you to that trauma. Because you can decide in your head 100,000 times, oh, I'm going to forgive. And that's nice, you know what I mean? But you will keep spiraling back around that topic if you don't find the root of the problem, if you don't find that emotion or the sentence or whatever it is for you that is tying you to that trauma. And once you resolve that, like it'll come in automatically. You don't have to force it or ask for it. It'll just be there. It'll be there. It'll come flooding in, and it's incredible when it does, especially, yeah, that's that piece. Now they're showing me the dove again. That's exactly that inner peace that is incredibly potent. And of course you can tap into that at any time, but from personal experience, I definitely could not. Like when I was in those really deep dives, no way, no way, no forgiveness, no inner peace. And that's important too. And I really want you to hear that from me, to acknowledge that yourself, possibly, that is okay too. We need, matter of fact, those periods where we do that. Otherwise, we cannot, or I have not found a way to let go in any other way. The mind thing, in my personal opinion, doesn't work. If you feel you have a different path and you've figured it out in a different way, please, if you don't mind, sharing it in the comments below, because it can be very helpful, like to just put it out there, like how you did it, or what's important for you in terms of forgiveness, or how you managed to do it yourself, like if you are at that point. Yeah, that would be awesome, because when someone hears it and they be like, oh, I'm not the only one that works that way, for example, right? And we're all different. I believe there's like a universal set of feelings, how we go about things and how we feel through things, but it'll still be a different kind of a journey. All right, we are indeed taking it over to Ribbon, because Ribbon is the only platform from my 3 platforms that offers just like, what's it called, donation based options, so you can choose the price yourself. Like I said in the other video, I'm gonna give you what I feel called to give, and you give me what you feel called to give. And I love that. Like, that is really, that's true to my heart, and that's how we're gonna roll right now. And for my Patreons, I'm definitely gonna post the extended for you over there, and it's your choice if you're staying on Patreon, or if you would like to go over to Ribbon. It's absolutely your choice. And again, like I said, if you've been charged for this month already over on Patreon and would like to switch, however, because I can't promise the general readings anymore, nor the frequency of these general readings. The next one's going to be about dragons, by the way, and I'm so excited, because it's just like, that's amazing. Anyways, we'll see where we go with this. It's or not really experimental. I'm just following my joy and what I've been called to do, and I really needed that break to get clear. And again, for more information, please head over to the other video that I've been talking so much about. All right, my friends, I'll see you over on Ribbon or on Patreon. I love you. Bye. Yeah, I'm immediately getting past life. Immediately getting past life here for some of you guys. Either some of you may have had past lives in that realm, like being an actual warrior in a tribe, and you're being asked to tap into the potential of this to really help you through. There may also be an ancestral ally of yours strongly present that has those capacities, that has lived those lives and gained those experiences. That's also how our ancestors are helping us, because they have lived those lives that are Holy macaroni, that's how the circle is closing here, because they have lived very specific lifetimes, so they can help you now with their knowledge, with what they have been through, with those experiences. So no lifetime is ever wasted or in vain. Even though they may not have reached what they wanted to reach, they are now, like from the other realms, helping you with precisely that knowledge and those experiences, because they've lived it. And same with you. Okay, oh my God, this is huge.